Well, good morning everybody, and I am Mary, and welcome to morning coffee, but it's not morning coffee because it's afternoon, because I am so far behind on everything that I need to get to. I can't even wrap my head around it. I'm trying to stay up on everything, and I want to apologize now because I'm going to have to keep blotting my eye, and it's not my allergies, and it's only one eye because, as you can see, I didn't even set my hair today. I just put a couple curls in it and then put a scarf in it because, oh, anyway, get off subject. So I was spraying my hair just to hold the curl so I didn't look like a total mess this morning with you guys. And I sprayed hairspray right in my eyeball. I'm sure many of you have done that before. I can't tell you how many times I've done it. And every time I do it, it's like, you know what, couldn't you slow down a little bit and see where you were spraying? Just picked it up, was going to spray right here real quick and off the go, and then right in my eyeball. So my eye will be tearing, and I'm sorry, and kind of looks like I have a black eye because I couldn't cover up the, it is what it is, right? So anyway, hope everybody had a really great week. Mine was a whirlwind. As you know, I started my new job and had my big huge orientation on Monday, and that was really informational, and I stayed the night before because I didn't want to have the stress of driving down there, not know where I was going, and it was going to be dark, or yeah, it would have been dark. It would have been early morning, and the fog and stuff. And I am a nervous Nelly driver at night. I don't see very well. I'm like many of you. So I don't like to drive at night if I don't have to. But I did. I got down there. I didn't. I got down there the afternoon before, got checked into my hotel, asked the front desk people, which were very helpful, about where this was and where to go and how to get there. And I was going to take a certain route. And I was going to drive it the night before, but I thought, you know what? No, I had Google Map on my phone, and I'm like, oh, the route that I thought I was going to take, I couldn't have taken, so I'm glad I did talk to somebody, because I would have been just and I got there like way ahead of time. I think the bus was going to leave at 7:15 from the pickup point, and I think there was like 200 other people going to orientate. So I got there like way super early. I got there before the bus even arrived, which was fine. And then there's like and there's no specific sign saying here, orientation people get on this bus at this location. So there was a regular bus stop there. Went over there and said, hey, you know, I'm here for this orientation. And she goes, oh yeah, the bus will be picking you up over there. And I'm like, okay. I got to where I needed to go. Everything was fine. Got on I was like one of the first ones on the bus, and then people were filtering. Like, I think I must have got on the bus at 6:45, and the bus left at 7:15-ish, because people were still rolling in at 7:15 to get on the bus. There's some stragglers, and I'm like, oh Lord, I would have just, and they were like nonchalant walking on it, and I've been like, wouldn't you be all whatever? But they weren't. They were calm as can be, and we got rolling and got down there and got all set up and stuff, and it was great. It was a long day. It was a long day, very informational, lots of stuff coming at you, but a lot of the history of the and their what their work ethic were, and how they looked at the whole scheme of the healthcare industry and patient care and working with each other. So it was really, you really got the whole concept of their system. So I really enjoyed that, and kind of gave you a little bit different perspective. It was a little slight different outlook than my old clinic, but it was a good outlook. And not that my old clinic didn't have a good outlook, but this one is wholly different than where I came from, because this is a non-profit organization, so it was a little bit different. But I just loved it. I mean, right on cue with everything that I believe in, and that's when you're working for somebody, you should believe in what their beliefs are in, and so you can support each other. And so it was really neat day. Came back, and then on Tuesday I did benefits enrollment orientation. That was really short. Went down to Lake City after that, and there wasn't really anything specific that I was assigned to do that day. It was just kind of a day of getting to know people in the laboratory, and getting the whole, and the first couple days I felt so lost, but by the end of the week I had a little comfort level, because you know, the first 2 days when you're on a job, and my job was very limited. What I do is it was a small little world that I lived in, and you did a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not to the magnitude that my new position is. So it was kind of very undaunting, very overwhelming to me. And the first 2 days, I felt a little bit defeated on my trip home, just thinking, am I going to be able to absorb all this and get all this? Because when you're the first 2 days, and you're not only learning new processes, new computer systems, simple things like the lay of the building. Where am I orientated compared to other places in the building? That was, that was undaunting, just to, okay, I am located here. This is where I need to go. This is how to get to there. And it took me, by the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I got the layout pretty much. This is how I need to get to where I need to go and stuff. So that was a good comfort level for me. I'm sure just like anybody else who started a new job, you know how it is. So just that, and the whole routine, and getting to know the names of everybody who works in the laboratory, and remembering what I called one of the other employees by a wrong name. I thought I had it in my head, but it was wrong. And they're like, who? I'm like, so and so, and they're like, oh, do you mean? Yep, that's who I'm talking about. That's who I mean. So just the simplest things of the routine of getting to your job, getting the layout, getting to know who you're working with, getting to know kind of the rhythm of the lab. And of course, I don't have it down. I only really was training in the facility for a couple days, and then Friday was a whole, here's the policy manual, you got to read through everything, right? And I still have one section of that was a long day getting through all that. I'm sure like all of you guys know. So by the end of the week, I did have a little bit of comfort level. My anxiety, which was at 10 at the beginning of the work week at the facility, was knocked down to probably a 6. So 10 to 6, that's good. And I figure if I can knock her down, a point from now on, I'll be okay, and it'll be all right. But it's just like when you haven't trained or done something different for 26 years, you have not changed your job position for 26 years, she can be a little bit overwhelming. But it's gonna be, like I said, I'm not crying. It's my hairspray. Sorry about that. But I made her through. Read a lot of stuff. Kind of am starting to grasp things. They threw me right into doing a testing on something. I said, I haven't done that since school. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that yet. And I haven't even read the policy. And we'll walk you through it. And, that was just like, okay, I'll do it. And they were really great. I mean, just like the simplest things, I think, they've been doing it. It clicks with them. For me, I had to pull old files about the testing, how it was, and it totally is so updated from, I'm used to doing a very extensive, lengthy thing of this test, and it's all different now. Same principle behind the testing, but how it's done and delivered is completely different. And once they stepped me through that, and they made me just do it, just dive off the cliff, I was like, wait a minute. It clicked. Some memories started coming back. I'm like, wait a minute. I get it now. So, and I think that's how I learn best. It's good to always read the policies and stuff, but I'm a very hands-on type of person. It's good, even though it's a little painful to get thrown into something. It's the best way that I learn, and you get over that little fear factor of the unknown, and you start rolling with it, right? So I'm in the position that I'm right now, which is kind of the phlebotomy section and processing computer systems and all that, and I'm here for 2 more full weeks. So I get very comfortable before I go on to the next section of the laboratory, and then I suppose that will be a 3-week, and then on and on and on. And I believe it's about a 3-month orientation process. So that's what I have been living and breathing for this whole week, and that's all I've been able to live and breathe. Do that, come home. Yep, not a good housewife. We ordered Chinese one night, and I ordered a lot of it, so I wouldn't have to worry about cooking. And then we ordered pizza, and we ate that for several. I ordered a large one. They probably thought, oh, they must be having it. No, I just don't want to have to wrap my head around cooking meals and doing meals. And I told my husband when I started this job, you know how I am, and I will not be my 100% best here at the household. because I'm giving it to my new job, my new position, and the absorption of all of that. He goes, I get it, honey. I know that's, and he's been great, and he's been stepping up, helping a little bit more, doing some things, and knows that things are going to slide until I'm comfortable in my position. I don't have the stress of the new position, and he's been great about it. So that's what's been going with me. But I'll tell you, I've been sleeping like a rock. I come home, do what I need to do, prep for the next day, do just a couple household things. Been going to bed earlier than I have in years, and usually I'll go to bed and then I have awful time sleeping, and I'll be waking up every hour and a half. So that's my norm. I've been used to that for years and years and years. Not this last week. I come home, do what I need to do, don't diddle fart around. I hit the hay and I sleep hard. I sleep hard until my alarm clock goes off in the morning, and I don't even know if I apparently don't stir at all. And it's a hard sleep. It's a good sleep, and it's a hard sleep, and I do feel refreshed when I get up. But it's just everything coming at me. I thought, you know what? I hope I stay with that. I hope I stay with that hard sleep, because it's nice. You feel refreshed, and you're ready to go for the next morning, and you don't feel like you didn't get enough sleep. You're ready to get up and get out of bed and hit the road. So that has been my last week. I made it through. I thought if I can make her through this first week, and I did it. So kudos to me. So have you guys, any of you guys had any new jobs in the last few years? Something like my situation where you've been somewhere forever and ever and ever, and you decide to switch it up and change it up. And I can remember Jennifer, who has a vintage vanity, another YouTube channel, and she's great. So just check her. A vintage vanity, and she's been on YouTube for quite a few years, and she did the same, not the same thing where she went to another position. She decided to give up the corporate life and do that, and she's a designer, and she designs skirts and makes skirts, and so she's got a private label for those, and has turned her channel into something more. She's a seamstress, beautiful seamstress, and for any of you who have seen I have a vintage it's got, oh, sorry about that, vintage campers all over the skirt, and she custom made that skirt for me, and it's my favorite skirt. I just love it. But she quit her corporate job. She started a website, started her clothing line, and is doing all of that. So she took the plunge too, and she is not my age bracket. She's a little bit younger than me, but good for her. And I thought, you know what? And you listen to other people, and they do it too. I mean, one of the girls that I worked with at the clinic was there for 26 years, and Kelly, and she went off and has got a whole new job. And another girl was Sherry, and I think she was with the clinic system off and on for maybe 20 plus years. Same thing. Left that and did something else. And I can remember I ran into Sherry, and that was like last year when she did that, and in the store or something. I said, how's it going? She goes, oh, she goes, those first 2 weeks were humdingers. So I thought, I just keep that in my head. It's not just me. It's other people who have done something for a long time and have that transition that have the same anxieties and stress levels and stuff that I have. And it's a great system, and it's a great bunch of people in the laboratory. You know, you kind of get to know a little bit, just a little surface hint of who they are, because you don't really get to know them yet. And they're all great. I mean, they're all gems. They came in, a lot of them, only 2 of them, I think, or 3 of them have been there for a number of years, and the rest of the staff, so that's 3, so that's 6 more people, are all new people within the last year. And I don't know how they did it, because a lot of them were hired at the same time and came in all together and trained all together. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have done well in that situation at all. And I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I don't have like something black running down my face while I'm talking to you with coffee. No, sorry about that. I can't believe I did that. So, but it's a great bunch, and I feel very comfortable personality-wise with everybody, and I know I'll be a comfortable fit once but you know, and I'm so used to being the person that everybody has gone to or has the answers or knows what the bottom line is all around. And when you're the new person, you don't know nothing. So that's kind of a big change for me, is not to have the answers. I'm always the person who has answers, and I don't have the answers. but that will come with time, and I know that, and I just have to keep telling myself, give yourself time, Mary. They're going to give you time, give yourself time, and I'm not lower my expectations. I'm not going to, you should always expect the most out of yourself, but it's just don't stress out that you don't have the answer, because even after a couple days, I'm like, I mean, even just getting into your computer and understanding what system was for what. It took me a couple days to wrap, and now I'm like, you know, what 2 days ago was like, I have no clue what this even is, and I'm never going to learn this, to like, oh, okay, yeah, that's easy enough, and I can figure that out. So I just have to remember it's going to be a time process. So anyway, that, for everybody, that's what's been going on with me. So I'm so glad I did make the change. You know, the first couple days you're like, oh, I should have just stayed in my comfort zone. And by the end of the week, I'm like, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I just jumped off that cliff, dove in, and plug your nose and you're going to come up for air, right? So, have been getting a lot of responses, so thank you very much for watching Morning Coffee, and I have not forgotten. I have done the drawing. I have my winners list right in front of me, and then I'll announce who won the morning coffee it's a little giveaway, and then my other two, for any of you who've signed up for those will close on, because I thought I should give them, I was going to draw those today. I'm like, well, it's only been out there for a few days, so I'm going to draw those and close those out on the 12th, so I can get that stuff done. And I think the post office might be open Saturday mornings. I need to check that. That way I can ship everybody's stuff up, 'cause I hate to send my husband to do all of that, because it's a lot, because I'll have, how many things will I have to send out? I think I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this morning, and then the other 2 are 4 or 5. So that's a lot of packages going here and there and everywhere. So I'm going to see if I can do it Saturday, or he'll have to do it again. So the corn across the field isn't cut yet. My son is like, you got to get ready, because when they cut the fields, this one up here where I've taken some tractor pictures and stuff is kind of across a dry run gully with their springs down in there, and it's up on a hill. But when they do the one straight across the street that I'm always rubbernecking out when I have coffee with you, when they cut that one, there's critters living in there, you know. So, and I'm talking about mice. So when they cut that, they'll be running for the high hills and running for our house. So, and they run over and they squeeze in. They go through. All of our mice enter through our garage. They get in there. Sometimes they get into our house, which I don't like. And some of them, my husband traps out there. I don't even want to tell you how many mice he's trapped. But when you have fields all around, you get field mice in. So when they cut that corn, they're going to be looking for safety. And they'll say, look, there's that safe house right across the road. So my husband has to set the traps. Sorry, I love animals, but they're little disease carriers, and they get in your food and they poop everywhere. So I like little pet mice that people have in little cages. That's okay, but I don't like wild mice running all over. You know that. My husband took the vintage camper over. That's parked for the season, and every time he goes over to his father's farm where we store our large camper and our small camper, our vintage camper, I send him with another load, because it's all in my house. Remember, it's all in my house. I'm trying to purge it all out. So I think I'm down to that I maybe only have the vintage camper's done, that's closed up, and whatever's in that's in that. I purged that last fall and thought, Mary, I had way too much stuff in there. And then there's so much clutter and it makes you feel claustrophobic. So I did a big purge of that camper. What are you going to use? You know, what's feasible to have in here? Do you need to have the cupboards, everything falling out every time you open them? No, you do not. So that's all cleaned. And then I'm trying to not send anything over to my large camper for the resort that we're not going to use. You know, not use it for a dropping spot for all of my stuff. And since you get all the energy and you're doing all that type of stuff, I don't know, I get on a roll. I hope I don't run out of steam before I get done with it. But then I thought, as long as I'm doing all of that, why don't I go through my kitchen cupboards? Because yesterday when I went shopping, and it was a day of shopping, a day of like oil change, a day of, I left the house at 7:30 in the morning, and I did have our oil change in there. And I did not go out for lunch at Wisteria, because she's in that new spot now. So I didn't go over there, and I wanted to. Excuse me. So I went to Walmart, Target, returned my suit to JCPenney's, because I had bought a suit for the orientation day, because they wanted you to either be in scrubs. I didn't want to spend the day in scrubs down there, or it had to be business appropriate. So I bought a suit, because I don't have a suit. I mean, I have suit coats and stuff, but not that I felt it was, be more of a going out type jacket. So I bought a whole suit. And I have a pair of black dress pants. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. And even though I got a deal on it, and it was only, I think, $70 for the dress pants, and it was a lovely Liz Claiborne suit, I thought, God, it just pains me, because when am I going to wear this? I'm not a suit person anyway. I usually wear vintage stuff. That's why I had to go get the suit, because I didn't have any vintage clothes I could wear. I was at Salvation Army, and here I come across a really nice black suit jacket. I thought, well, I got the pants, and it was like, sometimes you got to watch it, because sometimes the blacks aren't the same black, and it's very noticeable. So I thought, this looks like it's the same black as my dress pants. Sure enough, it was. So I had one of those dry L bags, and I dry cleaned it myself, so it looked great with my dress pants. So then I took the suit back, and the suit coat only cost me $3 at Salvation Army. Thank you very much, which I loved. I don't like spending money on something that you're not going to wear, right? So, cleaning and purging my house and doing stuff, and where did I go with that? So just doing laundry and stuff, and I went to Walmart, and I shopped like the blizzard season's going to come in, like Little House on the Prairie, and we're not going to be able to get to town for supplies for a couple months. So I thought, just with everything coming up, I want to stock the house. Well, I have such a tiny kitchen, don't have a lot of storage space. So I thought, okay, Mary, what do you got in what do you have in your cupboards? And I thought, how often do you use this? So, okay, you use this rarely. You use this once a year for holidays. So I started purging my kitchen cupboards. So I cleared out a whole new cupboard set just for food, because we only had like one cupboard. It was crammed and I couldn't get to it. So I organized all of my kitchen cupboards, got rid of stuff that I haven't used, I'm not going to use. It's not an attachment that it was my mom's or my grandma's. Some of the stuff I had bought, it's really nice glassware sets that I had gotten good deals on. I'm a glass hoarder. I will say that much. I am a vintage clothes hoarder. I will admit it. And I am a glassware hoarder. I have so many different sets of glassware. I have my everyday stuff. And I have this that I got that, oh, my boys will want that someday, because it's got like deer and waterfowl and stuff. And I'm like, well, it wasn't vintage, but it is now, because it's stuff that I bought 25 years ago. So it's vintage now, right? For them, and they probably are not going to want it anyway. So I boxed it up. I'm going to put it down in my downstairs. I have big, huge folded door closets, that storage that's packed to the max. It's organized, but it's packed to the max. And stuff that I'm not using, just to free up my counter space, reorganize it, make it more user-friendly, and not such a cluttered mess. And my son goes, if you move stuff around, Mom, this spot right here is where you throw everything on the, your catch-all. Everybody has it. You've got your catch-all drawers, and you've got your catch-all portion on the counter, or might be a entryway. Sorry if you hear my puppies are scratching at the, well, they're not scratching at the door, they're scratching outside the door to make an escalate, because I didn't bring them in here. I know. So anyway, I did all of that this morning and just went gung-ho on it, and redesignated some areas to, like, when I get up in the morning, this is like a nice, this will have my son has a 1-cup coffee maker, and we do have a regular coffee maker that my husband uses, because he's not comfortable using the percolator. I make coffee. It's always a percolator. It takes the same amount of time, and it just tastes better. If you ever do a comparison study and you brew a pot of coffee with your Mr. Coffee or that type of a thing, brew it in a percolator, to me, my opinion, is that percolator coffee is smoother. It just tastes smoother. That's why I drink so much of it. That's another thing with my new job. As long as we're talking about coffee, I love my coffee. Now, you would usually have 2 big mugs at work in the morning, because I could have them at a clean area in my laboratory area that was a computer area. But I can't have that. There's absolutely no food or drink or whatever in this, because it's all laboratory. There's not a separate, like, little computer area. It's all work area. It all has specimens, so you cannot have anything to drink in there. So I don't have my 2 mugs of coffee in the morning anymore. The first week I just, whatever, and I thought, I need it. I need my cup of coffee in the morning. So I thought, I want to have a little area when I get up in the morning that I open up, and it's got my cupboards have, like, if I want to make an English muffin, and it's got my coffee stuff, and it's got my to-go coffee cups. So in my kitchen, you open it up, and there's breakfast. Because, I'm not a morning person, and I don't start my job until 10, which I am not. what am I talking, not 10, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning. So, that's one reason way back in the day I never worked, honestly, worked in a hospital or even applied in a hospital, because I thought, I'm not a 6 or 7 o'clock morning person. I'm just not. And I know that about myself. I'm not gonna, and if you are a morning person, you can get up. If you have an early morning job, you can get up. But if you are a morning person, you are a morning person. If you're a night person, you're a night person. But I'm sleeping at my nights now. So I don't have to be there until 8, so I always like to get a little, I always like to get places a little bit early. So you usually leave at 7:15, gives me a half hour to get there with a little leeway. So I need to get back in the habit of just having that nice cup of coffee. Kind of wakens up, and I am loving my drive to work and home. Half of it follows the Mississippi River on the Minnesota side, and it's just beautiful. And I can't ever get stopped looking at it. Just like the woods or I love nature. So that drive is awesome. I just love it. And I come down to a road that I hit a highway to come home on, and the road that the clinic's on, or spit it out. The road that the clinic hospital is on comes down and it hits, I can't remember what highway that is, 60 something. And then when you come onto it and you're waiting to get onto the main drag there, it's the mighty Mississippi. It's Lake Pepin right in front of me. It's the most beautiful thing. I just love seeing that when I come down that hill at the end of the workday. So I will never, ever get tired of that drive. No matter, maybe in the winter a little bit when the snow is really bad, but so I got four-wheel drive. My son's Suburban, which he gifted to me, but it's still in his name. But he lets me have it because he has a really nice new pickup. And, we're auction people, and he just got some vehicle off of, it was the Jack's, or the Heinz auction site, and some really good deal, and it needs like $2,000, but I think he only spent like $700 on it, so he'll have another backup. We got so many backup vehicles. We just carry liability, and a lot of them it's just $20, $25, but we got to wean that down. We don't need so many, but you want them just in case, right? So, that is my week. Did I talk enough about it in the work week? Like I said, the corn is not cut yet. Got to get a mouse trap set. The tomatoes, I woke up this morning and it said 34 degrees, so I'm thinking that it might have, I don't think I saw frost this morning when I peeked out the door, but it was pretty dang close, and I'm sure up in northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, it froze. So our weather is lovely fall weather. It's cool, but it's October and it should be. And I feel so bad down in North Carolina and whatnot for all those people that are getting hit so badly with all of the rain and all the flooding. And I feel so bad. I mean, because we have that around here too sometimes. And I know Yolanda, who has Bombshell Beauty, has posted a lot of stuff on Facebook regarding about it's up right in her backyard, all of this water and all the goings-ons with the water and stuff. So, and last time I checked, they're doing fine and they're safe and all. But just people that have been displaced by the water, and it's just awful. Fires or anything, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, all that is so detrimental to so many people. And if you can reach out and help in any way you can, I'd say do that. And if your neighbor and you're okay, check to see if your neighbor's okay, right? It's all about helping each other. So good to see that Yolanda and her family is doing good. Last time I checked, so, and I'm sure they are. I don't think they're right in that. They're close to it, but I don't think they were where they were. It was like it was flooding, but not to the point where I think they had to evacuate. I hope not. So I have to check to make sure she's okay. It's always good to see. That's one nice thing about Facebook. They have this thing where you can put you're safe. So it kind of gives your family members that maybe you can't contact or can't get a hold of you, they have that social media to see that you're okay, because sometimes you can't get through on your phone or you don't have reception because the storms are many different variables in there. So it's good to see that her and her family are doing well, and feel bad and pray for all the families that aren't. So that's going on that way. So that's all that's going on with me. I've got my Chicago trip in a couple weeks. It's going to be kind of weird, because I'll be right in the middle of my training and I kind of feel bad for going, but I think maybe it'd be good for me to get away and just breathe. And I think that we're going to be going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming back Monday. And I think I'll talk to my cousin Chrissy, who watches these videos, and I won't even, or my morning coffees, I won't even have to tell her, because she'll say, yep, I already heard you say it. It's like, well, I know, but I want to have the conversation with you. I think that Sunday will be a day of relaxation, sleeping in, maybe find somewhere we can get a pedicure or so. Anyway, my camera stopped at some point. I have no idea when or where. So anywho, before I get off on another tangent, I'm going to tell everybody who the winners are to the morning coffee giveaway. So in no particular order. So, and if I hack your name up, I'm really sorry about that too. So the winners are 10 Acre Farm, Rochelle Wingo, Samantha Garrett, Michelle Fawcett, and Movie Mania. So that should be 5 of you who won. So if you would please just private message me on YouTube so I can get all of your addresses, and then I'm going to really try to get them mailed out this week or Saturday at the very latest if I find out that I can get them mailed out on Saturday. So congratulations to everybody. Please message me, private message me your addresses so that I can mail out your morning coffee little boxes. So everybody take care. Thanks for joining me for morning coffee, and until we have coffee again, it will be before I head out to Chicago, and then I'll kind of give you my little itinerary, what we're all going to do when we're going down there. So everybody have a great work week, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, have a lovely week with your family and your children until we have coffee again. Bye everybody.